So Daniela, can you briefly tell us about the song we worked on together?
Yeah. So, gee, when did I start writing it? Probably a couple of years ago now. And it was a prompt from an online course actually that I was taking. You know the monthly courses, the
Okay.
studio. Yeah, yeah. It was Taney's course.
Okay.
And so I love those courses because they just prompt you and you have to do the work and then upload it and it forces you to do songs. So I had to write a reggaeton song, which
Okay.
I think when I came to you, that's what I called it. I was like, it's a reggaeton song, but it wasn't strong reggaeton. I didn't actually know what reggaeton was, really. I I was very naive. I didn't know what it was. And so when they when we learned what that style of music was, I was blown away like, "Oh, that's cool." And so I was like, started making the beat and everything and um I really did it as an exercise, but it grew into something that I just loved because I thought I had the melody idea. And then when the lyrics came, I was like, just wanting to write about, let's go, get away from here, get away from the daily grind of work and escape to some fun, like beachy dance party,
Yes.
fantasy world. That's what I wanted.
Of course.
So,
And um you didn't really send me a demo of this song. You you already had some kind of pre-production in it. So you had like a clear vision of the song right from the beginning. That's what I that's what I felt when I heard the song,
yeah.
because I'm used to, you know, listen to demos made like with a cell phone, so very
Uh,
real quick, and then figure out everything. In this case, you had like a really clear vision about it. So in fact,
yeah.
you give me all the separate stems. So we basically had a pre-production. So we started from the pre-production, not really from the demo of the song.
Yeah. Yep. We did.
And that was really great for me because it you had the idea just at the beginning, so we already knew where the song would go. And
Yep.
and what were your main goals when you started working on this song? Because you're not doing music, yeah, just for fun and randomly. You have a goal in mind.
Yeah, well, I wanted it to sound really professional and commercial. I wanted it to hit really, hard out there in a pop commercial pop sense so that I could release it but also add it to my portfolio of songs to pitch for maybe some TV sync, opportunities, something fun that you'd hear on a really cool program or show. So I just wanted it to be enough that it would be well liked and received from people who appreciate a highly polished commercial sounding song.
Of course, because your
Yeah.
your goal is trying to put the songs you make into the sync world.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, I really want to get into that. I'm working on getting into that. I am getting into that. So it's definitely, I think it's such a great avenue for us artists and produce anyone who wants to and has some sort of involvement with it. It's awesome because, your music doesn't have to just stop there. You don't just make it and then release it and that's kind of it, unless you play live or something. It's neat to be able to give it the opportunity to be played in lots of different settings or discovered through a different audience. And I listen to the music in shows like almost more intently than I watch the show, and that's how I find so many new favorite artists is by discovering music from sync opportunities that they got. So I can see how it works, and it's something I really want to have successfully achieved in my career.
Of course, because I think that when you make music, when you're an artist, um, the most important thing that I see that a lot of people are missing is like the concrete goal. Okay, you're making music, but what's your goal? What's your
Yeah.
concrete goal so that you can really achieve? And I think you have that goal really. You have like a picture in your mind of your goal, which is
Yeah.
very like touchable.
Yeah.
There's the dream inside of it, but it's also very very concrete. So you're doing something that you really can achieve. So it's just a matter
Yeah.
of time and a lot of effort, and
Yeah.
but it's something that you can reach.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe so.
Of course, of
Ask
course.
me in a year's time and see. We'll
Yeah, we
see.
just
But
have to
no, I've
wait.
I've got high hopes. High hopes.
And
Yeah.
about like the pre-production phase,
Hmm.
how do you think? How important is the process of analyzing the references for you? Because it's something that I see that often people don't go really deep into it, and I think that references are very, very, very important to help you like build your own way when you make a song
Yeah.
and create
I
your
agree.
own style.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and it's not only about the inspiration from the track you're referencing, but sonically, there's so much information in a song that already exists that you can glean from. It just it makes sense to use references because the songs are already out there and they're giving us so much intel that we can use. You know, it's not directly copying, but it's so valuable. Yeah, I agree.
It's taking inspiration, but also I think understand what you really like and what you
Yeah,
don't. Because for me, analyzing a reference is not, oh, I like this song, and then I show you the song. Okay, but when you go like into deep, I discovered that it helps a lot when you're like, okay, what I like about this song, I like the drums here, and maybe I don't like this bass sound, but in the other song, in the other reference, I love the guitar. I love how I love the vocal effects maybe in this part.
yeah,
So it's like a combination of things that you like and you don't like, and from that, I think that you create your own sound. I saw
yeah.
an interview time ago of Rick Rubin. I don't remember who who was the other person. It was maybe Kanye West,
Oh yeah,
I think, but
I haven't seen that one.
it was a famous artist.
Yeah,
So he, Rick told him, "You cannot do it like that because this is already the sound of someone else." And the artist, he said, "Okay, let's turn down the snare." And I think that's just an example, a really easy example of the mindset you should have when you make music. Sometimes you don't need a lot to make a difference in your sound. Sometimes it's just like the balance of the instruments you have. You have like the guitar push up front, you get a sound. You have the guitar put in the back, you have a completely different sound of the
Yeah.
song. So it's just a matter of mindset. If you really like the guitars up front, great, do that, and maybe there's another instrument that you decide to put back.
Yeah.
So it's just a combination, and this is all done in the production phase, and
Yeah.
I think it really makes a difference to dive into every detail here because it
Yeah.
creates your sound. So
Yeah. And all those little details add up, don't they?
it's all about the details. I
Yeah.
think I think it's just that. Did you find the work we did together helpful in clarifying your artistic vision before starting the actual production?
Yeah. Yeah. I did. I loved that we had a big chat first. You know how we met on live like
Yeah.
this and talked about it all, um, and you were really open to hearing what I wanted and my vision, and the fact that I had my demo or my example there was really good because I think that showed you the vibe that I was going for, but I knew that you would then elevate it and turn it into something like next level. So, yeah, I really enjoyed the process. I thought it was good that we took the time to talk in depth about it first.
Yeah,
Because sometimes you just message back and forth or whatever, but having that solid conversation, yeah, really set things off on the right foot.
I think it's essential. The communication is an essential part when you're producing music, and when you work with a producer, when you work with an artist. I think it's very very important to be aligned because
Yeah,
you know producing a song is not like, okay, I'm gonna make a beat and send it to you and you can just sing over the beat. I mean, if you want to do a production which is tailored to the taste of the artist, to the style of the artist, and you want to create something which is unique for the artist, I think that communication, also related to the reference analysis, it's all
yeah,
something you do before the production. So for me, like the pre-production is not is not like the song itself, but it's all the analyzing process that you do before.
yeah,
And in this case, you already had a pre-production, but for example, for me, a lot of times the pre-production, you can work on the pre-production before, even before writing the song,
yeah,
because you find okay, what's the goal, what's the message that I want to deliver, what's the sound. Let's analyze the references. What
yeah,
sound do I like, what I don't like. So you build step by step, and then you create the song based on your message. You're already like figuring out the arrangement in your head, but now maybe you have just one piano or guitar with a vocal melody and some lyrics, and then you go into the pre-production because you know what instruments would be where. So like I want the punchy drums in the choruses. I want the guitar arpeggio in the verses, something like that. I would do
yeah,
something like a scheme, you know,
Yeah.
You just draw. So verse
Yeah.
one, I want this. Verse two, I want this, and it's really creating a strategy for the production in order to be ready and not try and not being in the production phase and try a million things just to see what fits good to your taste and
Yeah.
to your song. But in this case, I really appreciated to start from the pre-production because you're very good in what you do. I love like the fact that your vocals are the vocals you deliver are very clean, and that is something that doesn't happen often.
Yeah. I hear that a lot, actually. Yeah.
So it's great to have like a personal setup, and the fact that you can deliver very good quality tracks. I think it helps a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I know there was better things I could have done for you, but I really have tried to learn what makes a good vocal take, like where to use my mic and how to edit them enough so that it gives you something well balanced to work with without a bunch of background stuff. And, I'm trying to do a lot more of that now. Um, yeah, it's definitely received good feedback from producers. So I'll keep doing that because it saves time. I mean, you producers spend so much time on the music and the production and mixing and mastering. So I can only imagine how much extra there would have to be if we let you do everything with the vocal, So I
Yeah,
try and be helpful like that.
it's part of the producer job, but
I know,
it's
but it's just such a big job. I don't think they get enough credit for it. So
I
it's,
think we can take like this sentence and repeat it like
yeah,
in loop for 1 hour.
yeah,
1 hour
it's true
video.
though, hours and hours and hours. So yeah, no, I get it.
Was there any part of the creative process that surprised you or that you found particularly inspiring?
Ooh, do you mean our creative process together on the song, what we did, or just in generally
Yeah,
speaking?
during the creative process, we did a lot during the production phase, so adding
Yeah.
stuff and so on.
Oh, yes, I can think of something actually that I was very surprised about, and but it's good, a good surprise.
Oh,
And
thanks.
that's when I had a couple of I had a couple of ideas. I always have tons of ideas, I'm like, what about this? What about that? And then we had a meeting to edit or just to discuss some final details. Um, because you do a bit of messaging back and forth, and that's okay to a point. But you suggested let's have a meeting to sort everything out in one go, that was really cool. I haven't actually done that with anyone else before. I've worked with lots of different producers, and we've never had a meeting
Oh,
where we just finish live all of the finishing details. It was very valuable to me to have that meeting, right? Finish all the stuff together. But I had a couple of suggestions, and I think it was when I said to you, because you were like, is there anything else? And I was like, no, yes, I did have one idea. And then I thought, oh, maybe it's stupid. Don't worry. I don't want to tell you. But you were like, no, 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 show me. And so I did. And it was when we did the stop
mm-hmm.
in the song. And it was like, I literally say stop. Don't I? Don't stop.
Yeah.
Stop. No.
Stop
Yeah.
and everything gets like cut off.
Yes, and we didn't have that originally, but I'd thought about that a little bit, and I thought I'm going to tell him, and then, but I thought it might be a bit dumb or something. I don't know. Sometimes you question yourself, like, and I've got this real thing. I don't like creating extra work. I don't want to be a pain, I don't want to waste someone's time, so I'm always like a little bit reserved about saying things just in case I hear it and then don't like it and then have to go, oh. don't worry, can we go back? You know, I just feel awkward. But the fact that you were like, no, let's try it. And you literally did it right then and there. And it was so much easier as well than I thought. Like it was, you just cut it all and muted those regions. And then, and we played it and it was cool and you liked it. And we were like, yep, let's keep it. And it was done. And it was just such a cool, like I felt heard and listened to and appreciated as well because it was just a little idea, but I love that part of the song now. So it's really, you know, it's cool. I'm glad I said something, and I'm glad that you agreed and actually ended up liking it as well.
Yeah,
So
I think that there are no stupid ideas. So
yeah,
every idea deserves its spot, and just you can just try things. So as long as you're on the same page, I think it's always
yeah,
good to try things. I think that this is essential. The artist shouldn't be like afraid to give an idea or feel like uncomfortable, because I think that the making a production together, so artist and producer, should be like the most comfortable process in the world. Should be easy, should be like very, you know, yes, we're creating music. So
yeah,
it's like you have an idea, just tell me, we try that. So when you're involved, when you're really involved in the process, I think that every idea is good. Generally, you have ideas that are close to your vision.
yeah,
It's not like, oh yeah, I had an idea, just random idea. It's because you're creating that idea in your mind, and you're figuring out the song with that idea. It's like, what if we do this? Because you would love to see how it sounds with that idea you have in mind, and see if that idea you have in mind is something that you can really listen to in the reality.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So that's
I'm
really,
glad in this case it worked out.
yeah, of course it worked
Yeah,
out. And something that I want to mention about the stop part. So
yeah,
there is this part in the song we worked on, in which we have the word stop, and after that we have like everything completely cut off. So it's a real stop, basically.
yeah,
And I really appreciate that you mentioned this, because this is something very important, because it's creating like a universe that involves both lyrics and sounds.
yeah,
So it's considering the message, the lyrics, to to make the to make the sounds and the production.
yeah.
And this is something a lot of big artists do. And sometimes they are there are so there are little details in the song, in which you have this correlation between lyrics and production, and
Yeah,
sometimes you don't even think about that. So it's
just happened.
subconscious,
Yeah,
but it's there. And that's the
yeah,
detail. That's the
yeah,
big detail, little big detail
yeah, yeah,
that makes the difference. So
yeah,
that's why I really love to, when I can, of course, to dive into the message before
yeah,
before starting the production, because once you have the message, you can think about that and then produce the song. It's I think it's very similar, and also stronger when you do maybe cinematic music, because you rely on the message and on the visuals you have, and so you create something that sounds good for it.
Yeah.
So I think it's more or less the same thing. In this case, it's like it's not so strong, but what you can do when you make music, it's relying on the lyrics, on what you're saying.
Yeah.
Are you saying something very emotional? Are you saying something very desperate? If it's desperate, you're not gonna put like a soft piano under
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe there's like a big percussion or big guitar or big synth. So it's like doing these things. I think that these are this is what can make a production great, from good to
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. For sure.
If I am the producer of the song, I'm more like the director of the movie.
Yeah.
This is something that I think a lot of people don't understand. The producer is not the person who does the instrumental, send the instrumental, and job done. The producer
Yeah.
follows the process from the early beginning to the master.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna join a team as a producer, I will start by playing some piano chords or a guitar with the artist, and starting from scratch, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna end talking with the mastering engineer.
Yeah.
So that's the idea of being a producer. So the producer just follows every step. The producer could be a person who doesn't even put his hands on a mixer or on a keyboard or on a guitar.
Yeah.
As a producer, you can be the producer and not doing anything in terms of technical things or playing instruments.
Yeah.
You know, we mentioned Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin said that he he never he never learned to how a mixer works, and he never played an instrument.
Yeah.
So I understand that now it's a little bit different, because we're not talking about creating a song with a team of 30 people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a lot of times it's just maybe 2 or 3 people involved in the process. So I get that the producer really evolved in this. So
Yeah.
the producer became the arranger of the song,
Yeah.
and that's okay. But I think that
And a lot of the time too, though, you're developing the artist too. You know, like, so that trust with your producer is super important too.
did you enjoy the process? I mean, from
Yeah.
from where we knew each other to
Yeah,
where
I
the
did.
song arrived.
Yeah, I did. It was good, actually. We covered all the bases, and I mean, you never know what you're going to get when you reach out to someone from social media,
Yeah,
you know, and like for you too, you don't know what you're going to get when you have all these people come at you.
of course, of
It's
course.
like, you know, what you're going to work with or whatever. But no, it was really good. The communication was really good, and we agreed on a lot of things. You know, like it was a good mix of. It was a good working relationship, you know, that you have when you're trying to create a finished product. It's you know, it's a nightmare if you don't see eye to eye on things. So it was really good, and we did it in a quite a timely manner, eh? Like it didn't take incredibly long. It wasn't spread out over months and months
Yeah,
on end.
because I think that was because we were really focused on what
Yeah,
we had to do.
yeah,
So we knew
yeah,
that we had to do the song. We knew the goal. So
yeah,
everything was on point.
yeah.
So
And there's some producers out there that are like, well, where are my vocals standing? They're still waiting. Meanwhile, we work really quickly, and yeah, so that's my bad. So, you
yeah,
know,
yeah, I get it.
yeah,
When
teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah,
when you do a lot of things,
yeah,
it's always like that. You have to do,
yeah.
and you don't sleep, and then you repeat
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Okay,
Oh
let's not
man.
talk about that.
No.
The song, which is called "Run and Jump," is
Yeah.
not released yet
No,
at the
not yet.
time of this video.
Yeah.
But did you receive any feedback, from someone on this song? Any behind of the scenes feedback?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I shared a little clip on my Instagram, and people were like, "Oh, that's such a fun, cool song," because I haven't released anything like that yet. And it was different having that come from me. But I also I sent it to a publisher that I've been working with,
Okay.
who and he wanted it. He asked for me to have the song in his, if I would send him the details for it and everything. So that's pretty exciting. My mentor, Devin DeVries. I work in a group called Underground Mix with him and a handful of other producers and artists and writers. You kind of get mentored and all about writing intentionally for developing yourself as an artist and your skills and making what you do reach its full potential for sync possibilities.
Right.
And so that's really cool to have him, be like, send me the stuff for that song. It's cool. So it's in the fold. We can't do anything else with that because he's got that one. So
That's
that's
amazing.
really cool.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's really cool. So hopefully, you know.
Yeah, of course, of
Let's
course.
see.
But when you're,
Yeah.
when you're on your way, and you know what you're doing,
Yeah.
you can just go there. I mean,
Yeah.
you have one direction. I didn't want to mention the band, but One Direction. But yeah, it's the reality of facts. You're not like, oh, I'm making music. Yeah, I wanna be famous. I wanna do a lot of tours around the world. Yeah, okay, but in concrete.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you want to sync your songs. So you're joining groups of people who have the same goal. You're learning things from that word, because there's a lot of stuff in that word, so
Oh,
that you
yeah.
have to learn.
Yeah. It's something else.
so
But
I think it's it just good. It's amazing to have the vision. It's what we talked. It's what we talked about in the beginning. So the vision on the song, the vision of the way you wanna go.
yeah.
So it's that, and it's very good to. It's amazing to have great feedback from the from people in the industry.
Yeah.
It's some kind of validation, which is important because it gives you, you know, gives you some ideas about what you're doing. So if you're
Yeah.
doing something that really is good, objectively talking, or if you're doing something wrong, it's good to have someone who has more experience than you that can, you know, help you, you know, move in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's so key.
That is great. And so you have the last question for you.
Oh,
So
okay.
what are your next steps as an artist?
Oh, well, oh gosh. There is only one real burning step that is just constantly at me and in my brain right now, and that is make more music. I'm just wanting to write and record and try new things and make as much music as humanly possible that I'm proud of, not from the quantity perspective, but I just want to do as much as I can, you know? So, because that to me equals growth, you know, that's what I want, is to immerse myself in that side of things until I say until I know who I am as an artist, but I don't even think I really mean that, because I think you always are an artist and you just keep evolving and keep going, and you never really arrive to a destination. You just keep evolving and you make your art as you go, and some stuff you're going to be like, ew, what was that? And then other stuff you're going to be like, I love this, you know? I've been sort of trying to rap.
Oh,
Yeah. And screaming, you know, and like doing all sorts of cool stuff, like pushed out of my world, just totally out of my comfort zone. And I'm happy to be doing that, you know, like in the grand scheme of things, I want to market myself on social media. I want to get out there and play live, and I'd love to have a band, you know, but all these things, they're seasons, and I think you can't do it all at once. Maybe there will come a time when I can, but for now it's just like head down, work, make that music, share it with the world as much as you can, and just enjoy the process. Like I'm lapping up every single little bit that I can right now, and I'm loving it. So that's the steps. That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
I think that was a great conclusion.
Yeah. And we're going to
So,
make another track.
of course, but
Yeah.
we're not doing any kind of spoilers here.
No. That'll be
Okay.
cool. Yeah.
That was a great conversation. So
Yeah. Thank you.
thanks a lot,
Yeah. No, it
Daniela.
was good. Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you. I appreciate it. You're producing my song.